Hello, my tubies, my Teletubbies. This is Sheila Truelove, and today we are going to be talking about the games that women have played on them. And I am so not in the market, or I don't want to hear it when people want to talk about, oh, you're bitter, you're hateful, you're blah, you're blah. No, you know what? The person that we're going to listen to right now, this is coming from a man. So I guess maybe he's bitter and maybe he's hateful too when he's trying to school women on the type of games that is being played on women to break them. And that's my main concern, why I'm making these videos. It's to try to take the pressure off of women who decide that they choose not to be in a relationship. Because when you look at the media, it's constantly trying to pressure. Oh, please give me a break already. I'm so done with it. Anyway, or a woman doesn't feel like I don't even understand all of that. A woman don't feel like she's much of anything unless a man validates her and tells her she's worth. Personally, me, I don't get all that because I don't need all that. And I'm going to tell you straight out the gate, ain't no man breaking Sheila Truelove. They haven't even created the man. That kind of man hasn't been created. But a lot of times when you try to talk to women about things, they feel that they want to listen more when a man is telling them something. Anyway, this is R.C. Blake. He's a man. He's married. And you know what? Like I said, I don't have anything against marriage. I think marriage is beautiful. Beautiful. I would put on my wedding, my dancing shoes to dance at your wedding. If you pick a wife like what he picked. His wife picked a man who has the mind of Christ. Okay? She picked a man who has biblical morals, standards, and values. And like the Bible says, like I say in all my videos when I'm trying to talk about this single thing, what God has put together, let no one put apart, if God put it together. If you have a man who's on Satan the devil's team, you want to live a Christian lifestyle, he wants to live a satanic lifestyle, that's not going to work. You're pulling in two different directions. And I'm talking about following Jesus Christ, not following Jehovah, because what Jehovah wants you to do is follow his son, Jesus Christ. So even if you're following Jehovah, like a lot of these Jehovah's Witnesses, that's just something personal on my part. Now, that's my personal thing. That ain't something that God has put together or Jesus have put together. Because you're not following Jesus Christ. Anyway, without further ado, let's listen in, and I will give my comments based on what is being said.
I deal with let me see. I deal with the three phases of the game. How does a man take a woman and break her down to the point that she's about to lose her mind?
Now, I want you to just notice briefly, I'm not going to interrupt that much more, but you notice how he says, how does he use a woman to break her down? Just break her down, where she's gonna let me cheat on her. She's gonna let me have her jeopardize her health and her life. It doesn't matter whether I give her something, a disease that maybe she won't be able to get rid of. I'm gonna break her down. Yeah, good luck with that in this area.
How does a man take a woman, break her down to the point that she accepts any kind of abuse from him? Mm-hmm. And she continues to pursue him even when he rejects her over and over and over again? Well, it's intentional. And there are three basic phases, and then I'll share some other thoughts that I have with you. Phase number one, he penetrates the woman's defenses through calculated conversation. He finds out exactly what the woman likes, desires, what are her dreams, what does her dream man look like? And he then proceeds to act. He becomes her dream. He becomes her knight in shining armor. And the woman has no clue that the person she's experiencing is an actor. So once he...
Now, pausing on that, a man can't play that game with me because my dream man, or the man that I say is a man of high value, he has the mind of Christ. He knows how to apply Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. So you can't fool Sheila True Love. You have to know how to treat people the way you want to be treated. He has to be a man who goes to church with me every Saturday. He has to be a man who's studying the Bible every Sunday. We have to do our daily devotionals and our chapter in the Bible every day. He has to be a man, definitely. This is where it's going to be hard for a clown to fool me. He doesn't have a wandering eye. And most of these dudes who is not really about God and Christ, they have a wandering eye. They can't help it. You see, that's something that's a huge deal breaker for me. I'm busting my behind for you, and all you know how to do is constantly never be satisfied. You're always looking and lusting after something else. But most importantly, I know, I can recognize, because you see, I don't have just a physical eye, I have a spiritual eye. And I have the Holy Spirit that's working with me. And I know when somebody has the mind of Christ.
Once he breaks through and he penetrates her defenses with calculated conversation, saying all of the right things, doing all of the right stuff, that then breaks the woman down, and then the woman is lured into a sexual relationship with the man. And then we move to phase 2. The man then works to become the woman's emotional addiction.
You're right.
He comes by every night. He wines and dines. He has sexual encounters with her that are unforgettable. And once he knows that he has her...
I had to pause when he has sexual encounters that are unforgettable. I haven't had a sexual encounter that's unforgettable. The best sex I ever had was with my kid's father. All these other clowns, whatever. And even with my kid's father, that could definitely be unforgettable. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just a brief moment. That's just like, yeah, okay, it was great. It was terrific. Yeah. And it's over now. Come on, back to reality. Back to real life. I have things to do.
To that place where she is strung out, for lack of a more
strung out.
a more sophisticated way of saying it, where she's like a junkie strung out on a drug.
Really?
He then knows that he has her exactly where he wants her. And phase 2, the man works to become the woman's emotional addiction. He consumes all of her time. He flatters her, and the key ingredient to deception is flattery. He tells her everything she wants to hear, and then he begins to push the sexual relationship beyond the woman's limits. You know, she'll say, okay, I'm comfortable with going to 3. Well, he'll push it to 4. And then she'll say, okay, I'll settle for 4, but don't go any more than that. And then he'll push it to level 5. And then 6, and he'll keep pushing her limits. And the more he pushes her limits, the more addicted she becomes to him. The more of herself that she gives away to him, the less of herself she actually possesses anymore.
And I hear you on that note. That's why it's so important for women to have boundaries and for women to have standards. Like, my standard is you've got to be on God's team, Jesus Christ's team. My standard is I'm not dealing with no clown that don't work or have an income. I just was talking to one of my neighbors. It's a new person who moved in. I've been praying to Jehovah for local friendships. And this person, she seems to be pretty cool. You know, well, she didn't just move in, but she's been here for a minute, and we've been talking back and forth. She likes cats. I like cats, all of the above. And she's talking about how she's living with her daughter, and her daughter has her man living there, and he refused to work. See, I was like, really? Is that right? Because I don't understand how women could do that one. He don't have no income. Now, I can understand if he's retired, he has an income, he has SSI, he has an income, he's giving me at least $700 a month, because I've learned, because before I took $575 a month, but that's because I had my brother and my son giving me money also. But still going forward, she said, this dude refused to work. I said, really? I don't understand that. And she said that her daughter has been with him for 8 years. And I said, well, did he give any reason why he doesn't want to work? He said, she said, yeah, he did. He said, because he's lazy. He was at least honest. We got to give him some brownie points for that. He said, because he's lazy and he don't like to work. And the thing is, oh my God, see, that's a female who has no standards. You know what I'm saying? She has no boundaries. So it's important for women to have boundaries set in place. And when they cross those boundaries, you have to always be prepared to kick a clown back to the circus. I don't have no problem. I've never held no man hostage, or I'm going to sit up here and try to hang on to a dude who's sitting up here treating me badly. I remember when I was with my ex-husband, and I remember my daughter, she thought that I was treating my ex-husband a certain way, even though she said he was, what did she say? He was a no good. She said he was a piece of garbage or whatever. But, there was times when she was trying to make me feel like I wasn't a good wife. Honey, I was a Proverbs 31 wife, sweetheart. Okay? And to prove that the problem wasn't me, it was him, everywhere he goes, this man was getting kicked out. His sister kicked him out 3 or 4 times. He had this woman, her name was Miss Audrey. She kicked him out. And this woman was a sweetheart, Tubies. She was giving him all kind of breaks. He was being late on his rent. He would bring prostitutes. He would have drug dealers delivering drugs to the house. She still was trying to work with this kid. Because he had like a disability. He had cerebral palsy with his arm or whatever the hell. And then he moved someplace with these 2 nice older Caucasian people. They had to kick him out. Why? Because he's sitting up here disrespecting everybody else in the home. Even the city mission. He's getting into problems at the city mission. Now you want to try to make it seem like I'm the one who was wrong? Or you want to try to gaslight me? Child, please. These 2 older people, he ended up stealing money from them. Trying to impress some whatever, loser broad. So when I sit back and I look at all of that and I say, you know what, Sheila, you definitely were a Proverbs 31 wife. At the same time, a lot of times people will take your kindness for weakness. They will take your kindness for stupidity. I treated that dude like a king. 11 years. 11 years. But I had boundaries. And the only reason he got away with the crap that he got is because he had disabilities. But you live and you learn. I'm admitting my mistakes because I was stupid too. I was stuck on stupid for 11, well, that wasn't all 11 years, but I was stuck on stupid for a minute too. So I'm not trying to act like I'm above everybody else because, honey, no. But like I said, with experience, you learn. At least you should. And when you get to be at least in your 50s or 60s and 70s, definitely by your 70s, you should be woke. In your 50s, you should be woke. You shouldn't still be sleepwalking. You shouldn't still be unenlightened. Let's put it like that.
Right now at Northeast Acura, you can get a new 2021...
Hold on a minute.
And then there's phase 3, where he has her strung out. He's deceived her with calculated conversation, said all the right things, did all the right things. He intentionally became her emotional addiction. He created a soul tie. And then level 3 is where he avoids making any real commitment. She's doing all of this backwards. She thinks that, well, if I give him this and if I give him that, and if I become this to him and if I become that to him, somehow this is going to encourage him to marry me. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. 95% of the time, if not more, he never marries you. He avoids commitment at all costs. And then if it boils down to him being somewhat of a narcissist and marrying you maybe for financial gain.
Yep.
And he's just using you for whatever it is, whatever supply he needs filled, he's still never faithful to you. So that's the game a lot of you all are caught up in, where you're dealing with a generation of toxic men. It's called, I think the newest term coined is toxic masculinity. And it's defined as, it refers to the socially constructed attitudes that describe the masculine gender as being violent, unemotional, sexually aggressive, and so forth and so on.
Now, this is the reason why I keep trying to tell the women that I encounter, what I lean, and I'm not talking about homosexuality. I'm not talking about homosexuality or being gay, but I say women need to focus on developing friendships with other women. Find yourself at least 2 or 3 women who are local that you can get to within 20 to 30 minutes. Because women, better yet, here's why I say this, because women, they tend to be more nurturing. Women are more giving. I mean, we're socialized to be giving. Women are more compassionate. Women are more empathetic. They have more empathy. So every time I hear a woman talking about, well, I'd rather be with a man, I get along better with men than with women because women are catty. Women are just like, they are over the top. Those type of women who say that, trust me, Tubies, those are the women who are toxic. Those are the women who are catty. Those are the women who can't stand to see another woman shine. Not even a little bit. So when I hear women talk about I get along better with men than I do with women, my red light, my red light goes on instantly. I automatically know this is a catty broad who is with no self-esteem. She's a pick-Misha. I don't say these things, but in my mind, that's what I'm thinking. They could say what they want to. Because anytime you could get along more so with people who are less empathetic, people who have less compassion, people who don't like to communicate. Because, women, we're talkers. We're communicators. Without communication, there is no relationship. You got dudes, they don't talk as much as women. Women, we like to talk. Women are nurturing. We're loving. So that's why I keep trying to encourage women, develop female friendships before you even think about trying to develop a relationship with a man. Get those female relationships in order first. Because those are the ones who's going to help you when he breaks your heart, if he breaks your heart, because not all men are horrible. If God put you together, then he's amazing. But anytime they break your heart, it's your female friends who's going to come and say, let me keep your mind distracted. It's your female friends who's going to make sure that you're not going to isolate. They're the ones who's going to nurture you and comfort you and show so much compassion and empathy. Dudes, they don't get it. They just don't get it.
Toxic masculinity is what society says a man is. Now, here's the unfortunate thing. All of that stuff I just read, it refers to attitudes that describe masculine gender as violent. Women call that he's able to protect me. A violent man, you think, okay, well, because he's violent, it means he can protect me. Unemotional, that's masculinity. I can't crack him for nothing. He don't even smile. Sexually aggressive. All of these things here are toxic qualities that a generation of women with broken consciousness has been conditioned to believe is attractive.
Not me.
And because we have toxic women, you tend to attract and be attracted to the same thing as you are. That's the right way to say that. Sometimes I mess the English language up.
I don't know if I agree with that part. Toxic women attract toxic men. I'm not toxic. And yet I attracted toxic clowns from the circus. I don't know. And that's because I kept focusing on their potential. And the thing about it is everything that I felt that these dudes could achieve, they achieved it as long as they was with me. And the moment that they no longer had me in their life or they lost me, then they fell to the wayside. But I was never wrong when I picked who I picked. At the same time, I'm more mature now and more knowledgeable and more, how you say, no longer stuck on stupid, yet I'm enlightened. I don't deal with people based on their potential. Either you're there or you're not. No more of that sitting up there saying, well, having dudes who it was a project. You know? It's not my job to sit up here and build a man. But I have to think about what he said. Women who are usually toxic draw what they are. I disagree with that 100%. Because there's nothing toxic about me. I'm just a female who was raised as a Jehovah's Witness to believe that a woman is supposed to be a man's helper. I'm here to help you. And I don't have no problem with helping you. But I'm damn sure not going to be your do-all. Either you're going to show me that you're making progress, or I'm out. Like I said, I kick clowns back to the circus because I have boundaries.
When you're toxic, you tend to attract and are drawn to toxic men. And so, though this stuff in the context of my discussion, you can see it's clearly, these qualities are clearly not healthy. A lot of you have to admit that these have been some of the things that have attracted you to men. And
that didn't attract me to the men, though. I'm sorry, R.C. Blake. No, that didn't attract me. What attracted me to them is that they had courage. The men that I was attracted to was because they had courage to step to a woman who has standards, who has boundaries. I guess that these men, they thought that they was going to break me. You know how you have a nice stallion, a nice horse, and it's lively. It has so much kick in it. It has so much life, and you can't break it. That's me. I'm like a stallion that you can't break. And the reason why I was attracted to the men that I chose, like I said, is because I saw, one, that they had a lot of potential. Two, their courage. They had the courage to step to a woman like me.
Continuously attracted to toxic men, and you wonder why you keep getting poisonous results. The Bible kind of describes a generation of men in 2 Timothy 3. You kind of read verses 1 through 7, where it talks about this generation, or a certain generation, would become lovers of themselves, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, traitors, heady, high-minded, describing exactly what you're dealing with today in terms of toxic men. Now, toxic masculinity, the kind of masculinity that brings a woman through what I just described in this book, those three phases, toxic masculinity feeds on the marginalization of women. For a toxic, egotistical, narcissistic man to exist in his world requires the subjugation of women. Toxic masculinity speaks to the patriarchal systems that condition males to narcissism. I say all the time, and I must add, as I always do, I'm no therapist, I'm no counselor. Find a professional to give you further information on this. These are my opinions. But there are social constructs that condition men, I believe, especially in the United States of America, to narcissistic behaviors and tendencies. And this is why we have such a population of men that degrades, defames, demeans women. Because a real man, as I said in the beginning, is not one that will ever break a woman intentionally. A real man is one that would protect a woman. Even if the woman has no respect for herself, he will respect her enough to separate himself from her presence. Now,
I agree with that 100% because you have a lot of dudes out here who will say, well, why should I respect her when she don't even have enough respect for herself? Well, when you see that she don't have enough respect for herself, that's when you step up and be the man, you know, the leader, the one that God said he gave you the authority over women and children. You help her to develop some respect for herself. And the way that men can do this is when you see a woman who's dressed like a skeezer, don't give her any attention. Since you see that this is what a lot of women, that's what their weakness is you give them some attention. Man, it's so sad. You could give a woman crumbs of attention and she will instantly open up her legs and open up her wallet. And for what? Crumbs. You just gave her some crumbs of attention. Honey, no, I can give myself attention. I have a mirror. I have videos of myself. I have pictures to validate who I am. I'm attractive. I'm interesting. I'm beautiful. I don't need no man to do that for me. I know that I'm a strong, smart, intelligent, beautiful, attractive, interesting, sexy, and I don't need no man to tell me that because I have common sense. At the same time, you have so many women, and which is something I don't understand. That's why I'm going to try to speak with a filter at this point because I don't understand it. What is so all of this need for this attention? What does this attention do for you? Because I don't give a damn about no damn attention unless I'm talking and then I want you to pay attention. Other than that, I don't need all of that nonsense. I need my validation to come from Jehovah God and Jesus Christ. And that's good enough for me. But like my friend told me, well, Sheila, you have to understand that everyone is not as spiritually enlightened as you are. She says that I'm very enlightened. And I'm trying my best to enlighten a lot of the women out here, but it's up to these women whether they choose to listen. But I'm not going to get myself bent out of shape because my son, he was wise enough to say, Mommy, listen, all you can do is plant the seed. And it's up to Jesus Christ to make it grow. If Jesus Christ is not making this grow inside these people, then their heart must need some work. Why is it that God chose to enlighten me, but he's not enlightening you? You know, I don't understand all of this. It's freaking me out. Okay, excuse me for that because I had to refix the picture. But I'm really doing everything in my power so I can help my Tubies and my Teletubbies. I need to understand what is so the big deal about this attention. Let's just say that you're in a stadium. Okay, you're on the stage. All eyes are on you. You're getting this attention. Okay, now that you have this attention, what are you going to do with it? Okay, all eyes on you. Now what? I don't understand. And that's what's freaking me. That's what's frustrating me so much. Because I just don't get it.
Let's see. I jotted some things down here. You can see I'm looking at this tablet here. So the woman is intentionally repositioned psychologically and emotionally into this place that I describe as broken consciousness. I talk about broken consciousness in Queenology. I talk about broken consciousness quite a lot. It's where broken consciousness, the visual is this. There's a queen asleep That's broken consciousness. Where a woman is unconscious of who she is. When a queen is asleep, she cannot rule while sleeping. She cannot reign. She cannot dictate the course of matters while she's asleep. Well, that's a visual depiction of the consciousness of women today. Women today are as sleeping queens. You have all of the power in the kingdom, but because you're unconscious, there are things that are going on that you're not privy to because you're asleep. Broken consciousness.
Isn't that what I've been saying? A lot of these women they're definitely sleepwalking. Then I'm woke though. I'm not sleepwalking anymore. And to be honest with you, I don't see how a woman could be considered a queen anytime you sit up here and you don't have any boundaries. I'm gonna simplify it like that. How are you a queen when you don't have any boundaries? Your boundaries should always be that the moment he cheats on you, honey, you kick him to the door and don't look back. When it comes to, I know there's different situations. I get it. Okay, I get it. Financial, which no woman on this planet in the 21st century should be without a job or have her own income. That's just another thing that freaks me the hell out. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. But everybody's situations are different. And I think I need to understand that. But I'm so sorry to sit up there and give a man all the power. Money is power. You need to have your own money, sweetheart. You have got to have your own money. How can a woman consider herself to be a queen when you're willing to allow someone to emotionally abuse you, mentally abuse you, let you lay down and be a floor mat? You notice I always say floor mat. I don't say doormat. I say floor mat because the floor runs throughout the whole house. A doormat is just at the door. Nah. He got you as a floor mat. As a complete floor mat. Yes, that's what I'm saying. You're not supposed to let no man sit up here and treat you badly, especially if you have children. Because you're sending the message, excuse me, to your son. It's okay to dog women. It's okay to treat them like garbage. It's okay to defecate on them. It's okay, son, because you see, she's going to stay like you see your mama staying. You see your mama staying, and you're sending the message to your daughter that this is what you're supposed to expect. Like you have a lot of people that say women who don't have their fathers in the home, they don't understand how men operate. Sometimes it's better not to have the man in the home. Because what good is it to have this man in the home when he's nothing but abusive? You know, people, they don't need necessarily a man in the home. They need good parents in the home. Good parents. Because if you have a rotten father in the home, what good is it? Anyway, this is already 34 minutes, 35 minutes, what have you. But I want you to check out the video with R.C. Blake. It's called Here is the Game, ladies. Sit and let me teach. He wants to teach you. So you can't sit up here and say, oh, Sheila, you're just hateful. You're just bitter. Really? Really? Again, really? No, I'm merely speaking the truth and facts. You sit up here, you know, we live in a day and age where they don't encourage monogamy. We live in a day and age with the social media, the dating apps. Everybody's teaching you and showing you how to cheat and get away with it. We got this polyamorous stuff going on. Nobody's trying to support being loyal and faithful and have a man devoted to you. Yeah. Do you honestly think you're going to find it easy to find a man this day and age, ladies? Especially if you're in your 50s, 60s, and 70s. You're going to find a man who's going to be devoted to you, faithful to you, who's going to apply Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. Is that possible? Yes, it is. If he has the mind of Christ. If he has biblical morals and values. If like I said, what God has put together. Then you have a chance. Then I say, like I said, where's my tap dance shoes, my wedding shoes? I got my freaking dress, my gown, my makeup is right because I'm coming to your wedding, and we're gonna dance and we're gonna live it up, girl. And I'm gonna pray to God through Jesus Christ for Him to bless your marriage, because I'm not against marriage. I'm against women doing the most. I'm sick and tired of watching women always got to worry about what they look like. Women are doing the financial heavy lifting. Women are the mules pulling the wagon. Women are doing the most. That's what I'm against. And that's why I'm against all of this freaking stuff that you see on TV trying to encourage women, be in a relationship, be married, because then you're going to live your happily ever after. That's a bunch of bullery. That's when your freaking nightmare starts, if you want the truth. You don't believe me? Okay, check this out. What's the divorce rate? What's the separation rate? These days, people are not even bothering to get a divorce. They're just walking off. Go on Facebook and type in runaway husbands. And look at all read the comments. And see if I'm just basing this off of my personal experience. It's not just my personal experience, Tubies. What I'm speaking is the truth. And I know the truth hurts. But you know what is worse? Devastation. I'd rather be hurt than devastated. Because with hurt, I know that I'm going to get past it. Why? How do I know? Because I've gotten past it. I've been hurt before, and I managed to survive it. I got over it. I got past it. Today, I'm very happy. I'm not even content anymore. I'm just damn right happy. The only thing I want more than anything is to put my family back together. But if that's not in Jehovah and Jesus Christ's will, then I don't want that either. I don't want that either. But I also, like I said, the reason I made this video is because I'm just so sick and tired of looking at women still stuck on the Disney Channel and keep thinking that they're going to live their happily ever after the moment they have a relationship. And please, for the love of God, stop thinking that a man is the be-all to end-all, because they're not. You know what's the greatest thing ever? Check this out. When a man abuses you, you can do better. And when I say you can do better, it don't always mean that you got to move on to another man. When I say that you can do better, that means you can do better in terms of finding people to share your life with. You can do better. You can do better and find people who are going to genuinely love you and care about you and someone to share your life with. You can do better. And it don't always have to be about a man. This is Sheila True Love, truly loving you straight from the heart with everything that I am. I'm pouring myself into this video. Why? Because I genuinely love you. And I want to take the pressure off. Because we know what society and the media is trying to pressure you to be in a relationship. And I'm taking the pressure off of being in a relationship. I'll see you on the other side, my darlings. I love you very much.